Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. It's Thursday evening time for our conversation. Some of you saw me last night, completely distraught. Um, I actually had some meltdown. As I stated, I I am a survivor of war, and literally almost 40 years later, I still struggle. I learned to survive. I learned to live. I learned to endure and continue to advocate for the accountability for those who committed those heinous crimes and war against us and the trauma that it caused us. And we change government over and over and we stay stands. But yesterday, I what we were considering in the United States, an old American girl, this lady, Renee Good, two beautiful, three children, one preteen, one teenager, one is child, 6 years old, married. Oh, wow. Divorced, educated, college educated, a writer. Um, she lost her life like yesterday. And the thought process, I'm going to move for now. Thought process that brought me here was what was said about her, that she was a criminal, she was a terrorist, domestic terrorist. And the question tonight is beyond borders. It covers every segment that we all need to think about, from the Pacific to the Atlantic to the Indian to the Barian, and we need to think about that. Why do people change leaders? Or why, for that matter, do they choose leaders? What do they see when they choose leaders? And that's what I want to talk about tonight. And then I'm going to take the first maybe 5, 10 minutes and just talk a little bit about Renee. Okay. And I really just the thought of her make me very emotional. You know, when our children leave home, we tell them, and this is my own story. When I first came to this country and I went up north to visit my aunt and my cousin, and when we were leaving the house, because her daughter had just come also from Ivory Coast not too long after, and she has said to us, "You are going to New York, and whenever you get lost, you'll find the police. Don't ask anybody here, even on the train. Find the police." That's what we were told. Always find law enforcers to help you navigate. And as the world change, as we connect digitally with these what we call picture in picture or the graphical user interface, where police are able to wear body cams, where everything is brought to you in your living room. And we've seen, especially for brown and black people, from Trayvon Martin to my own sister and friend that we voted for here, and she's a lawmaker now. Her child, I'm not going to call her name, leaving from Georgia, going to Florida for spring break. playing the music at a gas station that we all did. That I did when I was in college, going to Mardi Gras, whatever, or going to the club. Somebody walk up, shot in his car so many times because he played loud music. And we seen countless over and over, over and over. And our law enforcers supposed to be the most sophisticated, most well trained on planet Earth. Here is my thought. When they were over there observing, there were a bunch of men, some face, mostly face cover, yelling to get out of the way. Then more voices came out, get out of the car. For me, who endure anarchy as a young person, I would be confused. I would be traumatized. I would be beside myself. I may not even make the right decision. And would God be merciful to me? Those days when I was in college, in my psychology class, we had a field trip. And the police were talking to us about how they can detect truth from lie. And it was telling us how when people are speaking the truth, they look in your face and they do this, they do that. The world was not as connected as it is today. This is way back. But Emmanuel, good morning, good afternoon. And I ask my sympathy for your auntie. Okay. And I asked the police, and I said, how will you know if I'm lying? He said, because when people are lying, they don't look straight into people's faces. And I asked him, I said, do you understand? Do you consider the culture that the person comes from? And then he said, what you mean? I said, okay, so well, I come from a culture where you don't look into the faces of authorities. You speak with your head down, especially for older people, or how you call it, looking straight in people's faces consider disrespect. But you are telling me not looking people's faces mean you're dishonest. So there is a culture, and as we grow in our community and we continue to express ourselves, why it is important to have cultural education to understand different backgrounds, especially when you live in a syllable. And for he, it was strange because he was not open to that. And I said, so if you something happened, somebody said something, and you were investigating me, you will sentence me because I'm not able to look. I mean, I've learned that act. I can do that. And I said to people now, I can look straight in your face and say what I want to say. But it does not necessarily mean this, because it's not my culture. So it's not in my subconscious for me to look in your face. I am programmed per se, because that's where nurturing and training is programmed, to look down when I'm talking to an authority, to look down when I'm talking to an adult, to look down even when I'm speaking truth. Okay? Not to make eye contact. Now you're telling me, because I'm in the US, I have to learn to make eye contact. And I'm watching these people spin all of this around. The first thing, the leaders of our country call this woman a terrorist. That when you do that, people who don't understand, it takes away her humanity. You dehumanize her. People see a monster, not a mother, who just dropped her baby off to school, who has teddy bear in her car, who have a 12-year-old middle schooler to talk to help do their homework, who have a 16-year-old high schooler who is planning his future. How does he see the world? How will he relate to his country? It pains me to talking about it. It pains me very much talking about it. As a female, as a mother, for the country that took me in, it pains me a lot. Okay, it pains me just talking about it. But let's continue to talk about this. Okay, that lady have never been in trouble. Some of you have gotten more ticket than she have gotten, and there she was. There she is, listening. Somebody yelling at her, telling her, "Move, move." Then other voices started coming. "Get out of the car." Somebody is holding onto her, literally, in the front of her, gun in her face. And it does not puzzle me. It agitates me. And the only reason it does is because of my own trauma. But based on what I study, because I teach that, this is man. This is the way man has been. Why you think Adolf Hitler were able to succeed? Why do you think Mao Zedong caused so much chaos and so many Chinese died? Because even the devil has his own worshiper. And that's the fact. That's why. That is why. We say these things to dehumanize, so people see a monster, not a mother, not a wife, not a daughter. And that's what we say when people say these things. That's what they say, because it's that way. Now I'm gonna go to Liberia. Okay, I'm gonna go to Liberia. Um, I ran back and forth to Liberia for 5 years straight. I took this year off to recruit, spend some time on myself, and during that time, I I went to I had a major operation, literally right after I went to Liberia, and dragged my body down a lot. And I'm trying to catch my breath, folks. And if you're here, please help me share the video for me, please. I would appreciate if you do. Okay. And I know this particular page does not open up because it's new. I'm still building it. It's not like my other ones. So I will appreciate if you share, as your friends may not be my friends. Okay. So let me continue. If you all remember, sometime at the beginning of last year, when and this is to the Liberian folks, when the Capitol building was burned, the president of the Republic of Liberia came out and they say put aside $1.8 million. Is it 1.8 million for repair? Yeah. And he said those who burned the building were hooligans. Some of us spoke against it. Without any investigation, nothing, no one has been identified. Although the Capitol Police supposed to have been there, although 2 days before, the police led by Gregory Coleman has seized the building, beating protester. If you go to Washington right now, in front of the White House, at the Congress, every day you go over there, the protests. But do all of that, you remember the young man that they said was the one Funanico sent to burn, who had gas container or whatever, which is not believable. You remember the young man said he was sodomized in jail, and that day they brought him outside. He passed out. He said well, the NSA people, and they threatened him if he said anything, they were going to sodomize him some more. You remember that in Liberia? Well, I have spoken on this for since 2016. There was a young man who used to work at finance. Then I believe he started working at commerce under the UP-led government, led by Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and Joseph Boakai. They would be going on a trip. They would entice some young men and ask them to come on a trip with them. When they go on a trip, they proposition them to sleep with them. And the word crossed the street to Susanna, that's where it came from. Most Liberian, young Liberian in Liberia, they were called Robert Sirleaf, but it was not just Robert Sirleaf. The guy had a Social Security, allegedly. That's one thing that he does too. And my brother Nya, their name, all of them were in it, because the last time, let me say this, yeah, Nya Twain and Amini when we're talking. Because the last time you were in Minnesota talking trash about Alexander Cummings, I heard your name too, that you were part. But I'm going to leave it right there. But the next time I could tell you talk, I will call names and call people, just so you know. No disrespect. When you point finger, you got to think before you point fingers. Hey, how are you? Today, I am still sharing. Hey, lovey love. It's not one of my best days, but I'm here. All right. I'm gonna play this video for you all. It's been more than 7 years. 2018. Dr. Emmanuel Dolo, who was the advisor to both Joseph Boakai and Madame Sirleaf as the youth advisor, did a lot of research on the prison system in Liberia the abuse of young people just as they abused us during the war. The abuse of young people that they were doing in jail. Big people were buying motorbikes, giving it to young people to go ride. If something goes wrong, they grab the young people, put them in jail. After they put them in jail, they're ripped in jail. They're shocked when they come out. You know how they say hurting people hurt people. And some then, a lot of Liberian men and women, they go up interior and bring our children to live and go to school. They turn them into their sex slaves. They are the one who said it. Yes, the wife knows. And it's rampant in Liberia. They used to say, in mano mosimien wapele kongomieno peye. He used to say it were the people in the Senate and it was Congo people. That is not the case. They believe, those who do, some of them believe, I'm told, that they believe that they are taking the power if they sleep with other men. Folks, and I'm going to leave that right there. All right. Now, I'm going to show you a picture. This man and a group of them in the NSA rip a 15-year-old Liberian boy. I want you to know this. And I'm going to show his face to all of you. He raped a 15-year-old Liberian boy. Not just he, they. These are Liberian men. These are the men who sit behind and call people gay, who are not even gay. Okay? I'm going to call his name. I want you to know the face and I want you to share. I'm going to put that, I'm going to write a note and I'm going to put that on my Facebook. I'm going to talk about him tomorrow. Okay? So just know, if you're doing this to a little boy, what is he doing to the little girls? That's him right there. Hopefully you can see that man. Okay? Hopefully you can see that man, Liberian people. Those are your leaders. Those are the people. And I would be asking Ome Bwaka, these are the people that Bwaka is bringing on board. We got his nephew, Francis Nyumane, who brags about murdering people. He put him over the whole country, the whole nation. Okay, as the face of the nation, interior affairs. It's a long day. And this man right here, let me see, Martin Colley, Titus Pocola posted this today. And Martin also posted it. We are asking the government of Liberia, led by by Joseph M. Boakai. Joseph M. Boakai. We want to hear from him, and we want to hear from the UP people. We want to hear from all of you. What are you doing to our little children? What are you doing to our boys? Okay. Martin Colley wrote today, this morning, when I woke up, that's the first thing I saw. And it says, oh, what am I doing? I need you to listen here. Okay. And maybe I'll play the audio. Mother of 15-year-old gang sodomized boy breaks silence as police arrest senior NSA agent Peter Bonjala, alias Bonjala. Two other alleged perpetrators are on the run. The case has been damaged. There must be accountability for this evil. We are demanding justice, human rights group, and he tagged. I will also add my voice. That's the guy right there. Okay? That's the guy right there. There are three of them that raped that boy. Three of them. Three or maybe more raped the little boy, a 14-year-old. A 14-year-old boy, this grown man. Okay? When the gentleman that they put in jail came and said he was raped, like when people didn't pay attention. You see, it is said today somebody took money at finance, like when people would get in the street to go protest. Somebody's son. Everybody sit until it happened to them and they ask people to come and help them because we are not together. And let me speak to Joseph Boakai. Joseph Boakai, people change government to break cycle of abuse, of neglect, to bring change, to do things differently, to improve the lives and livelihood of the citizen. They hire you to do a piece of job for them. That's what you do. People change leadership not out of impatience, but out of necessity. When neglect become normalized, and that's what you're doing in Liberia, you're normalized bad things. Excuses become your policy, and that's what you guys are doing. Everything you say, oh, the person did it, and Ellen did it, and Doe did it, and Toba did it, and the Congo people did it, and the country people doing it, and we are did it. And 40 years experience, and you will compare it to somebody who never led. That's why they kick them out. What's your excuse? Why are you making excuses? What's your excuse? What's your excuse? I'm going to find this recording and I'm going to play it. I saw it earlier. I don't know if I saw Titus recording at all. I think I saw it earlier. Okay, so we can hear it. Okay, so let me show you another thing. I'm going to stop here that I just saw. All right, here we go. I'm going to go back here. This is prison in Liberia. This is Monrovia prison right here. This is the prison where the city is sending your children to. Even the government is criminal to put human being in the kind of place. Okay? To put human being in this kind of place. All right? Let me show you here. This is the people who are building $10 million recreational center. Okay, let me print it. This is Liberia right here. All right. Liberian, whatever you do, avoid going to South Beach. The Monrovia Central Prison, South Beach, is a death trap that exposed alleged perpetrator and prisoner to sodomy, rape, and other inhumane treatment. This prison had destroyed many families in the name of pre-trial detention. Right in here, you find serial killers, drug cartels, scammers that are not even monitored by national government. This is the same South Beach where two inmates died of hunger on May 16, 2019. April 25th. This is also a joint stakeholder report for the United Nations Universal Periodic Review highlight that prisoners still sleep in wet cell. 10 prisoners have also died in this facility. Who will be responsible? Liberian parents or Liberian people. Because you are accused and you are still on trial, you're not found guilty. Okay? You are an innocent person until you are proven guilty. Even proven guilty, okay? It's not a death sentence. Parents who people have died or family, you need to sue the Liberian government to do something. That's how you change your system. You start by holding those in charge of it accountable. You cannot arrest somebody and detain them and murder them by neglect. You can't do that. Okay? So here we go. You see right there? Look at human being. Look at human being. Look at the place. Look at where the people. What is wrong with us? What is wrong with us as people? Okay, but I'm gonna stop here and I'm gonna want you to listen to Dr. Dolo recording. Okay, hopefully you guys saw what I just posted, where was on. Hopefully I share it. But I'm gonna come up and I'm gonna want you to listen. Dr. Dolo recorded this. Okay, I'm not gonna show his picture. I'm just gonna play his voice because it's not a good time. All right, that he spoke on this. That's my brother. Okay, and he passed in 2018. So, but I'm gonna play this for y'all. I'm gonna play this for all of you to see, to listen to him. I just posted this today. We did this interview on Liberia. Okay, it's a long video. I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna post it. Okay, I'm gonna find the video. It's on Focus on Liberia. We did this interview. Okay, that was, I believe, Dennis and I. Yeah, we're gonna go here. And I'm gonna put my picture up here, but I'm gonna play his voice. All right, I want you to listen. Listen keenly. They're talking about the sodomy, they raping people. All right, you'll be yelling all day long, gay, gay, gay in Liberia. This is what your people doing in Liberia.
Got a master's degree in the state, and you were trained to be, say, a communicator, and now you were appointed as a communications manager in a particular entity, or a social scientist who was sent to deal with youth. You're going to have to create youth programming from scratch. I'll give you an example. There was a person on here who asked, what did I do, or what did I accomplish as National Youth Policy Advisor to the President? Let me give you some examples. Some of the rude awakenings that we had was, I went into the prison to look at how many young kids below 17 or even below 18 that were placed in prison, to find out why and what could be done for them. At the time we got to the prison, we had lots and lots of 17-year-olds who've been riding motorcycles for people within, some of them in government, some outside of government, some of them private sector folks, who were operating commercial motorcycles. These kids were being engaged in contracts when they were not at the age, the appropriate age to engage in contracts. So when you give a person a job to drive your motorcycle, your commercial motorcycle, and at night when they're driving and somebody knocks them out, and the motorcycle gets stolen. The next day, you grab these young people and you put them in jail. They go to jail and they stay there for 6, 7, 8 months. And some of them get sodomized in prison.
Y'all hear that?
We saw a whole host of them there. Now, the system, as we saw, it was not ready to be able to provide for the needs of those young people. First, for the treatment of the sodomization that they had experienced. So a vicious cycle of sodomization began. Those kids were in jail for a long time. Our court system could not facilitate their movement through the court system fast enough, the judicial system fast enough for them to get appropriate judgment. Also, the people who placed them in jail, who had taken them to the prisons or to the police system, some of them were no longer around to address their needs. So there were systems inadequacy and there was structural inadequacy to deal with their needs. There was also a job program that we created. Went around all 15 counties and created a job program. And they're also made up of human beings. Say, for example, you got a master's degree in a state and
okay, I'm gonna stop
you
here.
were trained.
Okay, I can find that video for you guys. Okay, but yeah, I'm just telling you, this is not new. All right, but we need to amplify that. It cannot be the norm. It cannot be the norm. And we need the president to speak on this. We got over 3,300 rape cases pending. No solution. No idea how it's going to be done. We have over 300,000+ young people strung up on drugs. No roadmap. Singing and dancing for food does not change a nation. What changes a nation is system, structure, accountability, and hard work. That's how you build a nation. What system have you put in place? How has this system been tested? Do we know if it's functional? What guardrails does it have? Will it collapse when it's pushed? And that's what I'm saying. Parents need to take the government to court. Because once you arrest somebody, it becomes the government voice, because the government is responsible for that life that they're taking to jail. They're responsible to keep them safe. They're responsible to protect them. They're responsible to feed them. They're supposed to be. And if your child is harmed during that time or abused, it is the responsibility of the government. Sue the government. You know, they have this mindset in Liberia. Oh, you can't fight government. Yes, you do. They're answerable to you. They are the keeper of the system. As such, they need to. Okay. So there's a lot that is going on in the United States. You saw me last night, literally lost it. But tonight, I will leave early. I wanted to send my heart out to Steve Polly, Moses. Today is the 1-year anniversary since his mother passed. He's observing and remembering his mom. We remember her today. We remember her for her contribution to procreation, for giving us Moses, and the rest of his siblings and the family. We honor her today. As you all know, January 1st, I usually just try to stay straight. My dad would have been 84 years old. He passed 2013. So, yes, it has been a rough week, but we're alive and we are going on. So, I'm going to say to all of you, good night. I will see you Saturday morning in the kitchen. And, folks, my birthday is coming up. So, I will be asking you to support me. At some point, I started to say, but quite frankly, finding people in Liberia to work is difficult. You know, I now introduce young people here. I introduce Anthony down with a friend to finish school. The next thing I know, we're putting for different radio station. Okay. Then I had with my son Ayuba for a couple of years. He comes on, he goes. That's that. So we've been going back and forth, back and forth. It's very difficult to do that. I am thinking not now, maybe later. See where my daughter stands. If I'm gonna go before the elections, go to Liberia, I would like to start my own media empire, train my own people, and work there. I hear journalists say, "Oh, they pay us $75, $100, $150," but most of you don't want to work. I sit here, and some of you will do a report for me. Some of them, I will send them money, go do street interview. They will not do it. They will come up with all kind of story. Okay. You know, my sister, then we're talking, and I also sit here, I'll continue to do what I do in my part. And I see people come, people go. All right, folks, again, my trauma kick in. But I didn't want to call the day off. We have to be consistent. And I will see you in the morning. We have a conversation 10 for 10 tomorrow, 10 a.m. So I will see you for some reason. I got hiccup. I don't know why. I did not sleep at all last night. At all. All right. So Liberians that are out there, please be careful. Americans that are out there, please be careful. At this point, it does not matter. It should not matter if you have accent or if you don't. It does not matter if you're brown. I mean, if you're brown and black, you have a higher risk. But I would ask you to travel with your passport or your driver license at all times in this moment in time. That's all I can say. But my heart goes out to the people in Minnesota. God bless you guys. We'll continue to pray for you. Good night. Was on second thought, I would go ahead and post that over here, post that on my YouTube. Please follow our YouTube and subscribe. Good night, everyone. God bless.